or would we mail it to the person
Well, I was thinking like if
of the?
PolitiFax wins, we could find Eric Goldstein Silverman and shoot him off an award like
Oh, for the writer of the article?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful idea.
I mean, I really want people to they've brought us so much joy. I feel like they really do need something physical to show them how much we appreciate their work.
Yeah. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Terry.
I came fully prepared, and I thought that everyone could get this magnificent trophy that I brought specially for the occasion, a fake and gay tortoise.
Oh, fantastic.
Was it always gay, or was it the water?
It turned the turtles gay.
Very good question.
Fucking Bill Gates. Oh, that'd be a good contender for fake and gay awards if they didn't turn the frogs gay and apparently turtles now. How many decades ago was it Alex Jones warned us about that?
Well, the turtles have been waiting to come out of their shell, so
he looks pretty gay, I think.
And what's the difference between a shell and a closet?
Yeah, who knows? All right, well, who's gonna go for? Who's got a fake and gay nomination for us? Justin, you want to give us one?
Wow.
Yep. So
what
I got
about
a lot.
Terry's got one. Give one to Terry.
I got a lot of tabs open.
Okay. Terry.
Yeah, I'll go if no one else wants to go. My nomination for the Fake and Gay Award for 2024 is bird flu. And we've got the same old going on with this. This so-called pandemic. There's been one death in was it Louisiana? A guy who was over 65 and had lots of underlying medical conditions. Stop me if you've heard all this before, by the way.
No, don't.
Science magazine, which probably should be called now The Science Magazine, is predicting an epidemic. Leanne Wen, our favourites, and Robert Redfield have been predicting a pandemic based on, they reckon there's a 50% fatality rate. And the way they measured this was they went and looked at all these farm workers who'd got seriously ill and then calculated how many of them died. It's not really the case fatality rate, needless to say. So they've killed 123 million birds in the US in the last 2 years, which is, if you believe in natural immunity, that's not going to do anything for that. And they seem to be targeting the food supply and raw milk in particular. Newsom declared a state of emergency in California for some strange reason. And they stopped raw milk farms selling their raw milk, even though there's never been any recorded transmission to humans from raw milk. And there's never, in fact, been any transmission from human to human ever demonstrated. So, yeah.
Not till the bats get a hold of it.
Of course, they're testing using... Exactly, and the pangolins. They're testing using our old favourite, the PCR test, and they're using a cycle threshold even greater than they were used during the COVID times of 45, where you're basically going to find anything in anything. So that's my tip, and it could well be a Fake and Go award for 2025 as well, if these things pick up a bit as they tend to. But hopefully people won't fall for this crap this time.
So what's this bird flu thing? I've never heard of it. What are the symptoms, or
it's not even really like
worried about?
You start getting feathers that start sprouting out of your eyes.
Laying eggs and shit.
Yeah.
Do my bones turn hollow?
I said to Justin earlier on that you might suddenly have a liking for seeds and insects.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a load of old crap. It's been around since, if you believe in viruses, I should have put that at the start of all my statements. It's apparently been around since 1996, and it's never been much of a problem, really. Maybe a problem for chickens and
or birds.
Yeah. So, and they're going to try and launch, of course, another. Sorry, I'll just finish what I'm saying here. They're just going to try and launch another mRNA vaccine against it, apparently. and flu vaccines in general are crap because vaccines are crap, but also they it's like COVID. You're chasing a rapidly evolving virus, if you believe in viruses, and they generally in the yearly flu shot they pick the wrong strain because they have to sort of guess what strain is going to be the most prevalent each year, and most of the time they get it wrong. So the flu shot you get every year is generally a waste of time and quite dangerous sometimes. So there you go. Sorry, Stella, over to you.
You
Oh, sorry,
delay.
man. There's that delay thing I forgot about. I was just going to say it might be a bit of a problem for the politicians that are due for a tar and feathering.
There you go.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah,
bring them back.
I was just watching something the other day, and it made me realize until we bring back public hangings for politicians and bankers, or at a minimum tar and feathering, we'll never have a free country again.
No, there's no repercussions for anything.
I mean, it works on both sides too, because government and like fucking Capital One go and rip you off. They make $50 billion. The government's like, all right, I'm going to fine you $5 billion for doing that, and don't do it again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have two things to say to that suggestion. One is that satellite delays aren't good for spontaneous humour, and the second is if you're going to bring back tar and feathering, where are you going to get all the feathers from? Because they're killing all the chickens. So
well, what are we supposed to do with the feathers?
Maybe that's what it is. They don't want to be tarred and feathered. They got to get rid of all the fucking feathers.
Yeah. So,
brilliant.
Like, you got to go and start plucking all your chickens and saving the feathers. Price of oil is going to be more than gold.
All I got to say is, like, with the way that these people are running the cities, we should find a way to directly correlate their salary with how the city is running, like incentivize them. Like if you're losing all the money on, let's say, the homeless problem or whatever services you're providing to the community, if that directly affected their pay, I'm sure that these governors and officials would be a lot more efficient with the way they spend cash.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's
like a percentage of the reserves and the something
goes
for the tax,
Yeah,
goes to a bonus check or something at the end of the year. Something.
Yeah.
None of them do a good job. They'd all be fucking screwed, but find me one that's doing something good.
Unfortunately, that's probably way more palatable to most people than public hangings.
Yeah. Wasn't in the old days the tax collector would come around and instead of paying your taxes, you would just tar them and feather them and kick them down the road? Isn't that how it worked?
I think that's when he was cheating the people. They rebelled because they'd try to get a little greedy, hit people for some more change, and they weren't having it.
All right, guys, what's the next nominee for the Fake and Gay Awards? Oh, Jay, you got one more comment.
I'll take. Oh no, I was gonna say I'll take the next category if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
The biggest person I think or group to get this award has got to be the whole campaign that Kamala Harris was running. That was the most absurd, fake, full of lies.
Very gay.
Waste of money. It was just any angle you look at it, that was just so corrupt and just bad money management. Missed every opportunity to take advantage of. It was probably the fakest thing I've seen in quite some time.
It's amazing. They found the one woman more unlikable than Hillary Clinton.
I don't know. I like Hillary Clinton less than I like Kamala Harris.
At least Kamala is entertaining.
Yeah, I was going to say, she did make me laugh.
Right. So was this actually, does everybody agree or disagree that Kamala taking over was a soft coup or whatever? Or was it just that she was like, I want to get in here, we need to kick this guy out kind of thing? Or was it
that whole thing to me was very confusing because I feel like they knew she wasn't going to do it from the get-go. They already fucking hated
From
her
the
when she
get-go?
tried running. She tried running for president before, and she was like the worst one on the whole pile of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a
Terry.
soft coup, but it was hard cuckoo.
Club
Well,
Delulu.
the question
Go ahead,
is,
Terry.
My take on it is that they wanted to replace Biden with someone better than Kamala Harris, but Biden spiked their guns by when they said they were getting, you should step down. He said, "Oh, I'm stepping down," and I endorsed Kamala Harris for the candidate. So I think they couldn't really back out of that once he'd said that. So I think that was his kind of like part in FU to the rest of the Democrats who'd taken him down.
Yes.
Well,
good take.
that would imply that he is cognitively there enough to understand what's happening. And my take on whether or not it was a soft coup is
I should have
is
said
not.
I should have said Jill.
Ah, there you go.
I think she was running the show.
Absolutely. But the question for me is, was the soft coup clearly happened? Was it planned to happen in 2020, or was that something that was more organic in the last year or so?
I always thought he wasn't going to make it very long, and she was just going to be the president. I thought that was what their plan was.
Yeah, it was before he was even
Me
president.
too.
He was a dementia patient.
Well, yeah, because you could tell his brains were mushy, but they weren't admitting it. They were like,
They were
shark
mushier
attack.
They were mushier than mashed potatoes, dude.
I know. They were coming out of his ears.
That
His
may have been
fucking
the
ears.
plan until. Sorry, man. That may have been the plan until they realized how absolutely stupid she actually really was. So
It's just
sort of like
crazy.
they had to head it off at the pass.
It's
Well,
just crazy
will.
they didn't have any kind of primary or anything and just kind of pushed her in there.
Yeah.
That was
There
the
you go.
weirdest thing to me. They're just like, here you go. Like, what?
And the weirdest thing is the reaction by everyone, the Democrat, the voters.
Yeah,
Gave it a
resist.
thumbs up.
We
They
have
fucking
to end
joined the
democracy.
resistance.
Yeah, we have to end democracy to save it.
Thanks, Gil. I just thought of something else to add. You probably heard that she had this black hole in all the
That's racist.
donations she'd taken, and she spent
I
was
thought
it
you were gonna say something else.
$1 billion on the campaign, and she was still like, I don't know, it was tens of thousands of dollars short. But apparently, the donors who used their credit card to donate were still getting money taken out of their credit cards in the last week or so. So they were still taking
they
money
forgot to cancel.
from the Democrat.
Yeah, you got to cancel that free month
You gotta
of
cancel your
service
subscription.
before you get
Oh, yeah.
charged.
Like fucking
I just
Netflix.
saw Stacey Abrams' group just got fined the biggest fine in Georgia history for some campaign violations.
Yep. Some kind of corruption going on there. Is anybody really surprised? I don't think so.
What bothers me is just that Republicans do it just as much. They're just not as blatant about it. But with the Democrats being so blatant about it, it kind of blinds Republicans into thinking that their guy isn't corrupt. Because they're comparing the levels of corruption. Like, that's not my guy. My guy takes his bribes under the table, not over.
What I was surprised about is that Stacey Abrams had a cameo on Star Trek.
Oh, fun fact.
That's what I was surprised with. Nobody saw that except me.
That's
I
because
don't-
you're
I
a
don't-
racist.
Watch
True.
Star Trek. I only know that because of Brad.
Yep.
Yeah. It was one of the new series or whatever. The new.
I used to
dumb
watch
book
the old
series.
one when I was a young lad.
Yeah, the old ones are classic.
Yeah, I remember watching the one with the board with my dad for a while.
Next Generation.
Oh,
If you
That's what
say
that
so.
one was.
Deep Space Nine.
7 of 9.
Justin, give us one of your fake and gay nominees, please.
All right, so here's a fun one. PolitiFact reported that, I mean, PolitiFact is, and this is something that Biden actually just repeated in his farewell speech, and like his oligarchy line literally made me laugh out loud. Yeah. Biden's claimed that violent crime is near a 50-year low, which PolitiFact marks as true. But I mean, you can just tell by looking around you. Motherfuckers are getting set on fire in broad daylight in the subway in New York. And you're trying to tell me crime is down. Apartment buildings in apartment buildings in Denver, Colorado are being taken over by Venezuelan gangs. Haitians are eating the pets of Americans in Ohio. And you're telling me
they're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the cats and dogs.
They're eating the dogs.
All right, guys. Let's not bring any disinformation on this show. Come on now.
So, real quick, I just want to plug Chip Nation. I just recently watched that, and oh my god, every single person in that show is absolutely insufferable.
Wait, which
show was this, Justin?
Chimp Nation on Netflix. No, sorry, HBO. It's by the Tiger King guys. They're all fucking insufferable. But give it a watch. You're gonna love it. But
are you talking about the chimps? You don't like the chimps or the people?
The people.
Yeah, all the people. I mean,
they're
chimps
not
are kind of dicks too.
The people are not well. They remind me of hoarders because they're like not mentally well. So they wanted and loved chimps, but the problem with the chimps is that they're
murder beasts.
Yes, they're only viable to be around humans for a certain amount of time, and then they become very dangerous. But by then, like, you've raised them, they can't be anywhere else. And so then once they get big enough, they're just kept in a cage the rest of their life. It's so messed up. It's disturbing.
And then they feed it Happy Meals 4 times a day, and they're like, his heart's going bad.
I'm definitely not watching that show. It sounds fucking depressing.
Wait a minute. How do you find a veterinarian to keep your chimp maintained?
I guess you're gonna have to watch the show and find out there.
God damn it.
So, anyways. So, the stats that PolitiFact was reporting on were derived from FBI stats, which is based on voluntary reports of crimes by state and local law enforcement, and excludes crimes like little things like sexual assault, simple assault, armed robberies, and crimes not reported to law enforcement. But honestly, you can kind of give them that one a little bit. But it's look around you. Yeah. How fake and gay can you get? And he just repeated this at his goodbye speech.
You know what's probably the least reported thing is that when somebody stops a crime, like a civilian stops a crime with a firearm, that is probably the least reported statistic in FBI history. I guarantee you. Terry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I hear that FBI crime statistics also exclude the odd school shooting, apparently. That's what I heard anyway.
Oh, wow.
Bye-bye, YouTube.
That's probably because of the way that they count school shootings is so wildly dumb. But just to wrap this one up, the DOJ National Crime Victimization Survey, which is widely considered to be, quote, the gold standard for measuring crime trends, showed a 37% increase in violent crime from 2020 to 2023. Moreover, the latest rate of murder, which is the best measured and worst violent crime, was 36% higher in 2023 than a decade before it in 2014.
So you're saying that our illustrious, still current president, don't forget, Biden is still president. He lied to us? He gave us false information? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but don't hold it against him in case he wants to run again in 28.
Gotcha.
He won't
Because
be alive. I
that
don't think, I don't think he
Stella-
is now.
don't you put that voodoo on us. It'll be
I'll
the
tell
most
you what.
entertaining 4 years
Somebody's
of my
got-
life.
Somebody's got their hand up his back, holding him up.
If Biden runs for president in 2028, I'll fucking vote for that guy.
Me too.
Me too.
Because he'll
I've
be
never
103 years old.
100%. And I would like to chime in and say that honestly, I did not vote this year, but I wish that I would have, because not that it would have mattered, and it is a selection in my opinion. I don't think any votes matter whatsoever. Maybe on the local level for like your sheriff, but certainly not the presidential election. But I think that as Monica Perez, shout out Monica, always says, it will take a Republican. And so there's been all these technocratic things said by Elon. JD Vance is a Peter Thiel guy. They're associated with Eric Prince and Palantir and like mercenaries over in the Middle East and all this stuff. And so many people that call themselves conservatives are like, yeah, this is good, actually. Yeah, that's totally good. Yes, that's so base. America, Gulf of America. Let's take Greenland. Yeah, Canada, 51st state, man. And I'm like, I thought that you didn't like globalism. I thought that
I was just about to say that same thing. I'm like, that's fucking globalism.
Yes.
We're gonna stop these globalists.
I did
Speaking
hear.
of Monica Perez and voting, I'd like to publicly state that I voted for Monica Perez for president this year. So
Nice.
Beautiful.
Hey.
It's very nice.
I would if I could.
It's a beautiful
she
thing.
responded by saying, I'd throw a grenade over my shoulder and be done with it day one, right?
That's what we want.
All the more reason.
Nice.
Like,
Very
don't
good.
threaten us with a good time, Monica.
Yeah, seriously.
I
Perm.
I
go
did
ahead,
hear
Justin.
though that in regards to the Gulf of Mexico being renamed to Gulf of America, and this is probably just some QAnon 4D chess shit that they made up, is that apparently it's illegal to drill for oil in the Gulf of Mexico. But if they rename it to the Gulf of America, boom,
Checkmate.
work around, start drilling, baby. Drill, drill, drill.
That's it.
Drill, baby,
It's very-
drill. In the words of the very wise Sarah Palin, drill, baby, drill.
There you go.
Probably 4D
That's what
QAnon
she-
chess shit, but hilarious if true.
I thought Biden just made that coastal area like national forest, so you can't drill in it. He made it
Yeah,
like
he did
protected.
something wacky like that.
He made it like
He-
protected land, so you can't drill.
That
Kinda
son of a
deal.
bitch.
You did.
I
I
want
think it was like
oil
yesterday or today or something.
spilling up on my beaches.
Don't want
Yeah.
to
Why
wake
the
up.
hell
the
would he do such
dinosaurs.
a thing?
And I did hear some lawyers were actually discussing that, and apparently it's actually very difficult it will be very difficult for it to be reversed there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What would that process be to try to reverse something like that?
If I remember where I heard them talking about that, I will send it to you.
Okay. Send it to all of us. Not just her.
I will post it on Discord, so join us on our Discord.
We have a Discord, yes. Perm,
We do.
you've got a fantastic background showcasing the clown world in which we live. I want to
It
hear
seems fitting.
if you've got a story for us to nominate.
Well, I figure we can't talk about clown world and fake and gay without talking about DEI. Lately, the narrative
Mm.
has been that in
Hey.
2024 is kind of the death of DEI. I've been seeing a lot of articles about this. So I kind of want to mention some of the big corporations that have been in the news for pulling back on these practices.
Yes.
So I've in Walmart in November of 2024, they announced a rollback. I'm sure the pun was intended of
It's
several
gonna be
DEI
hanging from the ceiling
initiatives.
in the store.
Right.
No more fucking DEI.
Ford
gonna
Motor
bring back
Company in
guns.
August 2024 scaled back and included ending its relationship with the Human Rights Campaign and reevaluating its diversity policies. Lowe's in August 2024, John Deere in July 2024, Harley Davidson in August, Toyota in October, Boeing in November. I wonder why they're trying to figure out why their planes are
Boeing.
falling out of the sky.
Well, they
And,
gotta hire their assassins based on skills, not race.
Right.
Tractor Supply. I mean, Tractor Supply writes itself, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of country people going.
You know, it's almost like this stuff is planned, like the whole Trump coming back and the DEI going away and fucking Zuckerberg coming up on Rogan and pretending like he's all cool now. It's
don't get me fucking started on the Zuckerberg redemption arc because
I'm sure
the amount of people falling for it.
I'm sure Stella is sitting there seething. I told you guys. It's all a script. It's all a script.
I think it's very blatantly obvious what's going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Seems
you
it.
bloody conspiracy theorist. How
Yeah.
dare you?
God bless him. God bless him.
I represent that.
It's all obvious, but I just really didn't think so many people would be falling for. I mean, I'm super specifically talking about the Mark Zuckerberg redemption because it's
Are people
so
really falling for that,
dumb.
though?
Yes.
I've seen so many
Yes.
people. Oh my God, Mark Zuckerberg is based
no.
now.
No
the
way.
Zuck
I haven't
is
seen
based
any of
now.
It's
He's
too
based.
late. It's too
many
late. The
studies-
brain damage is done.
Nobody's falling for it.
How much
Oh,
of that is like bots and, engineered
Oh.
comments and
Please,
He
see,
probably
it's
bought
like-
millions of Chinese bots himself to
Yeah.
yeah.
send
please,
out.
God, let them all be
Yeah.
bots and not
Right.
NPCs.
Now I haven't. I
Live in
listened
bot
to
world.
that. I listened to that. What happened to?
Uh-oh.
Who did we lose?
Ashley.
We lost Ashley.
Lost
Oh,
Ashley.
We lost the
Son of
we
a
lost the
gun.
chief.
She was in charge here. I listened to that Rogan episode with him on. That was the last one I listened to. But I'm curious because I know there's a Protect Our Parks that comes in afterwards. I'm curious if he comments on what Zuckerberg was saying and podcast ago or not.
I
He did.
don't
But
think so. He might have made one
brought it
one-off
up, but-
comment.
There was nothing
Yeah. What
I
I
I
was
was
just- I wanna-
talking about.
I want to hear
I just
Rogan
finished
go.
it yesterday. That was a long podcast.
Yeah,
That's right.
I want to hear Rogan say.
Mark Norman's
Boy,
Jay
that
Will's
guy was
favorite
full of shit.
comedian.
No, that was the line that they were running the whole podcast. Sorry.
the one line in that podcast that interested me the most was how much Jamie makes.
Yeah,
I was
wanna
interested
hear-
too.
I'm guessing around 400,000 a year.
I'd say half a mil.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in there.
Like
For-
Joe's taking care of him.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
He has all of Joe's blackmail.
Joe's like $500 million. Jamie's getting paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
It's-
And just for like Googling shit a few hours a week, that's
Yeah,
what he
I was-
gets. That
I was just gonna
I
say,
mean-
if anyone needs to hire me for, I'll do 100K a year just around Google shit.
Yeah.
I'll
I think he
Google
does
the
all
dark
the,
web for
all the
you.
he does all
No.
the tech shit too. I think.
well, he just, I guess, but he's
He
just
does
kind of
what-
a producer.
Make
think he
sure
can do
everything.
What Keel
Still
Thor
working.
does.
I mean, he,
Produced
in his defense, he does do a good job because he's always got the shit up when they're talking about it. Usually before
It's
they
easy
even
when you
Rogan
can
has
afford
to
all
say
the
anything.
best equipment and redundancies.
Yeah. And he knows Rogan
Well-
well enough to know, kind of predict when he's going to want to see something on that screen or whatever they got up behind
It's
him.
got to be a lot easier now that they don't go live.
Do they have
100%.
did they record their show like video
Yeah,
wise?
Been live in like 2 years.
Yeah, it
Other
was.
than Fight Companions.
What was the last live episode? It was the Twitter lawyer, wasn't it?
Maybe that's like 4 years ago then.
Because it was with, I think it was with Tim Pool and the Jack Dorsey and Twitter lawyer. maybe on the second round, and they had a hot mic as they were ending, and someone said some shit, and after that they quit going live.
Oh.
I don't remember the details. I don't remember it being that big of a bombshell of things that got heard that weren't supposed to.
I tend to think there's there's at least a 50% chance that was engineered as well.
Well,
you know, the hot mic thing. It's like, yeah, right, okay, sure. If you didn't want us to hear, you would have stopped it coming out.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that was anything.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It's just a rudder push. It's just a little push for the narrative. It's just a little, little move of the rudder.
Welcome back, Ash.
Support.
Nice of you to join us again.
Hope you had
Thank
a
you so much.
Little nap, or what you were doing there.
I didn't. I'm having a terrible time. Everything that has could go wrong is going wrong, and yeah. So
well, maybe now you'll learn.
No.
Maybe
she's
you'll
not
learn
able to even tune in, so that she's missing. She's missing out.
Maybe she'll learn not to be so anti-Semitic on Twitter next time.
Hey, there's something.
With the Rogan not going live thing, there's also an entire Randall Carlson episode that went into the ether that they never posted.
Hold on, who's Randall Carlson?
Well, what was he talking about, Perm? Particularly,
we don't know. They never.
Oh, right, because okay.
He was the guy that comes on with Graham Hancock a lot, if I remember.
Or it could have been in Graham Hancock.
Okay.
As one of those two, a whole episode that they refused to release.
Well, and I remember, I think it was when he was on with Graham and maybe someone else, and he was talking about in the Maldives, and this stuck with me because I vacationed in the Maldives not too long ago. In the Maldives, they were working on some sort of like frequency that they could use in order to like make stones levitate. And they were saying that's how they created the pyramids in Egypt. And they had figured out that technology. They were working on it in the Maldives, and they were like getting close to being done with it.
Big Bear Owen Benjamin said that the government of the Maldives have reached out to him to invite him out there because of all his shit talking on the Indians, because they kept saying, "Oh, the Indians are shitting on our beaches."
I believe it.
Well, wasn't that an actual story though in the news? Up in Canada.
Indians, they had to close beaches in Canada because the Indians were shitting on the beach, and unfortunately, we can't vote on that one because it wasn't. I mean, it was pretty gay of them, the Indians, not the news, but it's true. It's not faking gay.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have to have another award show for that one.
Just the gay awards.
Yeah.
Not quite fake.
Just the gay awards.
the gay Indian awards. So I don't. There was just real quick. Aaron Berg and Gino Bisconti, two comics. They used to have a podcast in Hot Water, and Aaron Berg would do this character. I don't remember. It was something terrorist, and my bad. He just yelled "stink," dressed up as an Indian, and it was just that was all it took to get Indian Twitter to try and cancel you. Hilarious though. Sorry.
Was that the video that you sent me some time back, and he was at like a hotel and he kept just yelling that something stinks, and they were having this coincided at a party at the same time, and the people were Indian, and supposedly he was doing his stand-up and he just kept yelling like about how bad they smelled. And that is a common meme, yeah online
or reality in real life. But I digress.
All right. I've got a nomination for the Faking Gay Awards. The UFO drone lights appearing over in New Jersey.
Ooh,
that was fucking fake and hella gay.
Was that 2024 though?
Yeah, that was 2024.
Okay.
That was all last towards the end of last year. it was going on and on. We were hearing, oh, is it UFOs? Rogan had people on his show talking about it. You know, a couple different military guys. Oh, this is definitely something. You know, could be foreign interference. Blah blah blah. And then, from what I understand, the local ordinance changed because they had just opened up nighttime drone flying, and that's when we started seeing drones. And then they decided to close that law up and say it's now you can't fly drones at night anymore. And then it all just went away, and nobody fucking talked about it anymore.
Yeah,
Joel, what you got?
Weren't they the size of cars? Like,
that's
and
what people
weren't
were
there all
saying.
kinds of sightings?
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
Yeah,
Those
And they were
aliens are real
disappearing.
fucking rule followers.
Bruce,
right.
did you see him, Bruce? You're up in New Hampshire.
Nah,
Did you see anything?
nah, but they're just there's airports close by. I see a lot of air traffic. I don't really.
He
I don't
sees
know.
UFOs
Doesn't
all the
exist.
time.
Okay, I go.
He's been abducted 3 or 4 times already. Yeah, it's no big
Just
deal.
tonight before the show.
Right. Terry, what you got?
Yes, I gotta say something here. You think the whole thing was fake? What do you think was fake and gay? The drones or the fact
were
that
just
they were reported
drones.
to be UFOs? Because the drones,
They were just
Yeah, but
drones.
they were
weren't
big.
anything
They were the
special.
I
size of
mean,
cars,
they're not
some of them.
just drones if they're the size of an SUV.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah, but-
there's a lot of fucked up people out there.
Yeah.
I bet you.
I don't know if I
One-
believe any of it. I haven't seen one of them.
There was one sighting, and then everybody started looking up, and they started taking pictures of fucking airplanes. Like, what is this? Like, that's an airplane.
And people were saying they were just like
That's
they
the
would
moon.
look up. Yeah, that's the moon. They would
Both
look
of the
up,
moon.
and as soon as they looked at the lights would turn off as if they were
On
monitoring
heroin?
people walking towards them, and then they would zoom off over
Okay.
the ocean and stuff and crash into the it
I
was
mean,
all
New
it was all-
Jersey isn't known for the highest IQ, though. I mean,
Jay Will,
That's
Jay
the
Will, let
kinds
me
of-
hear what you got.
Yeah.
No, there's
I was
most of
gonna
the
say-
music community.
Yeah, Jay Will, you go
What-
first.
Weren't they in the air for 5-6 hours at a time, and they were flying so far off the coast that our radars couldn't pick them up? That they're like 50, 60 miles off the coast. I was like, it's just hard for me. I'm with you, Big Perm. I don't even know if it really happened.
No, there was a lot of weird, like you said, there was a lot of weird descriptions, like that they were flying for this long. They were the size of a bus, one was the
Yeah.
size of a car,
Yeah.
disappeared.
Like fishing, just gets bigger every time.
Terry,
Oh,
what you got, Terry?
The problem we had with this thing was that some people saw some strange drones, and then because it got popular, a lot of people started looking up in the sky for probably the first times in their lives, and they were seeing planes going overhead and going, "Oh, look, it's a drone!" So there was a lot of retarded stuff, as Justin might say, going on there, that people were misidentifying normal things. But there was a lot of strange shit going on, and some people were saying they were coming from the sea. You can't.
The
I don't think
mothership.
You can just
Yeah.
disregard all these things that people were saying they were seeing. And I've seen a lot of the videos, and there was some strange looking stuff. I don't think you
know,
can.
I mean,
they weren't normal
there's
drones.
a
They're
lot
not
of
like the
AI
drones you
nowadays,
buy in the
too.
hobby shop.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
real quick.
maybe.
Has
Doesn't count.
anyone claimed to see the drones that we know for a fact has not been vaxxed?
Oh, good question.
I think there's one now.
Ashley,
Go, Ashley.
Ashley's got something to say.
Ashley.
So, thank you. I actually have a friend in New Jersey, so shout out to my buddy SW. Not going to name names, but
New Jersey.
yes,
Stephen Wellingham.
yeah, sure, it's Stephen Willingham. He is a
Spencer.
very high IQ individual. He was able to fight off vaccine propaganda for
Hooray.
himself. And yes, and he's very intelligent. He's very much in line with us. And I at one time I may try to still do this in the future, to do a pod with him, talking to him about his experience, because he's located in New Jersey, and I was asking him about this stuff at the time, and they absolutely saw them in their home, in their neighborhood, and it was unusual from what they would see as far as airplanes and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that it wasn't a psyop, but it was something. something unusual for sure.
Can I just put a little thing in there? I saw some video of somebody letting go, because you know how most of them were, well, a lot of them were triangular looking, so it was like there was a light at the end of each point of a triangle. And I saw somebody letting go their own homemade version. And all it was a helium balloon with a string, and then about halfway down the string was like a little, torchy thing. So it was like there's a long piece of plastic tubing and then a little light at each end. And so when they let it go, when you look up at it, it looked like a triangle. It really looked like a lot of the footage that I had seen of the drones, which was very little. But
that's pretty
but then
funny.
didn't Trump say something about he was going to talk about the drones on his day one or something of his reign? So was that AI?
He has the long
we've heard that
list.
before.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day, that one. But I mean, amongst all the AI and the fakery and everything, I mean, what isn't fake and gay? I think that's probably a shorter list.
Easier
Let's
to
do
handle.
the what isn't fake and gay awards one day.
Yeah,
very
that's-
quick show.
It's so
We are
true
neither
because
fake nor are we gay. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but go ahead.
it's a great
I
point
can
though,
speak
because
for you.
the real
Yeah,
question
fuck.
is or trying to use our discernment to what is actually an organic occurrence. But I personally can't help but referring back to what Legal Man says, which is that if it's in the news for longer than an hour, it's an op. So it's potentially that it was a real event, but you can bet that what happened or the message or some sort of nonsense is being added to, and that narrative is getting co-opted. And if it's something that they don't want you to see, then it's swept under the rug like right away. And in today's day and time, with us having so many different like news channels, and you have all these podcasters, these fake and gay podcasters out here, then stories can get buried really, really easily. Yes, like Justin.
Very true.
Yes. So it's difficult to even like you can see something and then it's gone, and you're constantly flooded with information, some of it good, some of it nonsense. It's very difficult to really hold on to something for us to really tell. So that's where personally I just try to use my discernment, and then I ask myself, like a series of questions. Number one, does this somehow tie in with globalist predator class and DEI and whatever their narratives are?
How can you live your life asking yourself, in one way or another, does this help some rich billionaire fuck a child in a demonic voodoo ceremony? I can't
Goodbye,
ask myself
YouTube.
that every 10 minutes.
You
Well, I
should
think
just
it's just
know
a matter
the
of-
answer.
Exactly.
They obviously can't fully control everything. I mean, it's even too big for them. So TM. So it's a case of, okay, we can't control it, so we're just going to muddy it. I mean, can't see the forest for the trees at the moment. I mean, it's just all going by at 1,000,000 miles an hour as well. It's very, very clever. It's so cleverly engineered. I mean, I have to tip my Akubra to them. I can't help but acknowledge that. But you evil bastards.
Jay Will.
Is it possible that they maybe had a type of drone and then it was a big mass hallucination thing that everybody, because you heard multiple reports of people saying they saw it here, they saw it there, flying in and out. And then that's number one. And number two is, you don't think a kid, like how close were they? Were kids out there with slingshots hitting them with marbles? I saw something that they recovered one, and then that went nowhere. It's just like there was so many.
Yeah.
You would think the civilians in the city would be doing something. Someone in there has a rifle, some redneck would shoot at it or something. You know what I mean?
Does anyone think that the government doesn't know exactly what it is? Are there people that are that dumb?
I just
Yes.
want to say,
There are people that
think
are that
that's
dumb.
a possibility.
Yeah,
I think that's a
present day, I
possibility
hope.
that the government. Big Perm might back me up on this, but the UFO phenomenon has been going on. If that's what it is, the UFO phenomenon has been going on for years and years and years. People have been seeing strange stuff. I don't think you can explain it all as like government craft. What it is, I don't really know. It could be aliens, it could be something sort of interdimensional or something more spiritual. Who the hell knows? But one of
It's
the
literally
aspects of this
my
phenomenon
least
that happens
favorite
from time to
subject.
time. Right, but one of the things that happens from time to time is they kind of imitate things that are already there, like planes, or back in the Victorian times, there were people seeing mystery airships. During World War II, they were seeing mystery fighters, and now they're seeing mystery drones. So what the heck's going on? I don't really know. I wouldn't eliminate the possibility that it's some sort of government op. I think there was something happening that was out of the ordinary out there. There were too many
I
people.
hadn't
I
thought
can't
about that.
dismiss it all as illusion.
But you're right,
Sure,
Terry.
carry on.
There has been a lot of these types of things throughout history, even in cave paintings, or cave drawings, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
so they say. I mean, that's only dependent on the pictures that they've given us, isn't it? Maybe that's even part of the narrative. Who knows? But this is something. A little observation that I've made right over the years is that the whole drone thing would, we've got the fireworks that happen. That's going to become a polluting issue environmentally. The drones are kind of there. They've been in the, what's the word? The zeitgeist, I suppose. From Japan particularly, because they're really, really good at these drone shows. So they've been kind of coming up on the outside of the narrative, so to speak. And also I've noticed just in the last, I don't know, year or two, it just sort of seemed like Japan had kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just my world, but kind of drifted, wasn't in the picture much. And then in the last couple of years or so, Japan's kind of come a bit more back into the picture, and that really good ex-prime minister got assassinated, what have you. And also Japan is part of the Trilateral Commission, the Trilateral Agreement, was it? Is Washington, Japan, and Europe or something?
Trilateral Commission.
Yeah, they're they're in there, right? And I don't know. My eyes are kind of on Japan for the drone stuff as part of the narrative. I don't know. That's just purely an assessment on my behalf. I haven't heard or read anything or anything, but look, I think if it was any sort of threat, the military would have been. It's just black and white, really. It's pretty plain that there was no threat involved and that they knew what was going on. Otherwise, there would be Air Force action, wouldn't there?
It was just drones. You could have gotten away with the mystery for a while, which it did, because we didn't, there was so many wild stories going on, but the media kept hyping it up, and then when it's just gone. There's just no more drones, and so the media just dropped it.
Right, so they are gone now. It's all stopped.
Yeah, I haven't seen a story about that in a
media's
while.
Dead, but when this happens,
Yeah. Are there no more drones, or is it just the media's not reporting on them anymore because they've got an attention span of a gnat, haven't they? And they move on to the next thing.
You're gonna have to come over to New Jersey and check for us.
My friend in New Jersey
he
hasn't said anything else. I'll message him and ask if they're still seeing drones, but I don't think they are.
Yeah, it's. Jay Will, you'll be next. I don't see how this could be anything other than domestic drones, people flying drones at night because they were allowed to, and then suddenly the law came back into place. They weren't allowed to anymore, and they just stopped. And so it didn't happen, and nobody was seeing wacky shit in the air anymore, and so then it just went away. And nobody came out and explained it. It was just like everything else. The actual explanation happened, and there was no more exciting clickbait bullshit going on. So they just dropped it and moved on to the next clickbait bullshit.
Yeah, and then they released a whole bunch of new squirrels.
The reason that I feel like I feel like we have something to do with it as the United States. Like, did you guys hear the theory that we lost some nuclear warhead, blah, 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 and they were searching for uranium signals or whatnot? Because if that was any other country, let's just say Japan, China, whatever, Saudi Arabia, whoever they're saying these drones were, or if they were foreign, alien creatures, we wouldn't let those just hover in our airspace. You know what I'm saying? We're always talking about missile defense and air defense, but then we're going to let the random other country or alien drones just fly around. I really feel like, if anything, there's something to do with United States tech, or we're testing them out, or we were looking for something, because there'd be no other reason to let any foreign country or alien life form in such high density population areas like that without knowing that they were a non-threat.
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
Or checking the populace reaction, right?
That's what I think.
Before I forget, real quick, was the weather balloons 2024? Was that before 2024?
2023, I think.
Because that was even more fake and gay.
The
Oh, we
Chinese
had another
spy
one.
balloons.
We
Chinese
had another
spy
one, didn't we?
balloons.
There was a second
There
one
was
that
two.
happened
There were
last
two,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
They
that
were
still
within a
counts.
couple of months. I don't think that was during 2024, though. I can double check.
No,
I
it
can
sure.
was
fact check
20
it.
23.
I'll fact
Go
check
ahead
it.
and fact check it.
I just looked it up.
Ashley, go ahead and Google that, Ashley.
T-
It's not Jamie.
2023.
I'll have Jamie do it.
Just call me Jamie. Call me
Pull that
Jamie.
up,
But
Jamie.
Bruce said he just looked it up, and it was 2023. The other thing that I wanted to say was back to what
It's Ash-
Jay Will was saying, is that I thought that if it wasn't them testing something out, it was them testing the populace to see what the response would be. So
Yep.
what theories
Exactly.
do people come up
That's
with
possible.
to explain it? What questions are they asking? What memes are they making? Like, what is their response to this? And especially knowing
Yeah.
that the pump had kind of been primed already for Project Bluebeam. Like, the word got out about that. People were aware. They're on the lookout. When they started the chatter about UFOs, so people were like, "Oh, here we go. They're getting ready to try to launch Bluebeam on us." So then it, if it was potentially nothing 100% except for to gauge the reaction and to see, okay, what do left-leaning people come up with? What do right-leaning people come up with? What is Q coming up with? I mean, they are the Q messenger, and then what are all these people in the middle, like the truth community? What are they saying about it?
Absolutely. It's a social thermometer, or a public dipstick, if you will.
Very
They have to
possible.
do it every now and then, just gauge where we're up to. Are we up to the revolution yet? Nope.
Hey,
Still just
I just
threatening.
want to say shout out to Jay Will. Thank you so much for joining us. He's going to go hop on his own podcast right now.
Jay,
It was
right.
great to see
Yeah,
you again.
cheers,
Thank
Jay
you so
Will.
much.
Thanks for
Jay,
joining
well,
us.
guys.
what's your-
Hey, I appreciate all you
Hey,
guys.
before you go,
Take care, buddy.
before you go, do you want to plug
Right.
something before you head
Yeah.
out?
Oh
Where
yeah,
can
if
we
you
find
guys,
ya?
Want to listen to some crazy jokes and just fun drunk guys talk, listen to my podcast, Carbonated Concepts. Me, DJ Carbo, my boy Zeke. We always have interesting local guests on. Anywhere you listen to podcasts. Again, thank you guys for letting me to get on this and discuss the FAG awards with you, and hopefully I can get on again with you soon.
Thank you so
Tell
much.
the
Good
boys
to
I
see
said
you.
hello.
Well,
All right,
Thanks for
take it
joining
easy.
us.
Later,
man.
man.
I'll let
Okay.
you know if you won.
Yeah,
Cheers,
please. All right. See you later.
See you,
Thank
man.
you.
See ya. Oh, yeah, the FAG Awards. Duh.
that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
Nice one.
it's back to what Jay Will said as well, is just like everyone's already forgotten about it. So
Yeah.
I will not financial advice is not financial advice. Whenever you see stuff like this happening in the news cycle that's going to tank a company, take a look at it, because everyone's going to forget in 2 weeks. Like, you guys remember when CrowdStrike happened and airport the whole fucking country shut down? I waited for their
Yeah.
stock to crash, bought a bunch, and now I'm up over 30% on it. They're doing
Nice.
better than ever.
And I
So
will
you're-
say that
50 cents is up to $10 now.
Well, it's up to, it's let's just say it's doing substantially better.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I was just going to say that in regards to Justin's comment, that yes, people do forget about it because you're constantly inundated with psyop after psyop after psyop after it's constant. Like,
Yep.
not that we're addressing the fake and gay things from 2025 yet, but it's a laundry list already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite right.
All right. Stella, let's hear from you. What's your nominee for the Fake and Gay Awards?
Yes, well, unfortunately, this hemisphere is not immune to fake and gayness, unfortunately. Plenty of it happening down here. But I've actually got a fake and gay story. I was going to bring a really, really fake and gay candidate, but I managed to debunk it about 5 minutes before I came on. So I'm going to just do a quick debunking, which is probably worth doing anyway. So over in Australia here in the state of Victoria, there has been some stuff going on, some wild talk about the Casey Council, the city of Casey, which is like, I suppose you guys call it precinct. And the word on the Truther Community Street has been that there's going to be huge amounts of money to be spent if you want to go and change the oil on your car on your own private property, or work on your car, or do anything like that. That there was going to be permits brought in. So this has been the whole talk, and everyone's clutching their, greasy pearls with their oil-covered hands, just going, "That's outrageous." But and it certainly sounded fake and gay and very outrageous. But I've just actually gone to their website, and it's not actually the case. And they have addressed the misinformation, which makes you wonder if it's actually something to support the misinformation laws that they want to bring in, because that's where I'm sort of heading. I think it might have been a planted story because it was too outrageous. It was one of those ones where it's like, no, this is way too fake and way too gay to be even fake and gay. So anyway.
It's kind of like when a bad movie is so bad it's good, but
exactly.
reverse.
Yeah, it's entertaining, but for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, it turns out that it's not actually the case that you do not require a permit when completing minor repairs on your car on your private property, such as oil change, belt change, or water refill. You can freely use a caravan on your private, because a lot of it was about having a caravan on your place, having car bodies that are unregistered on your place, all that kind of thing, which is kind of normal in councils. Sorry, Justin?
Can we get a American translation for caravan?
It's like a camper.
Okay.
Camper van. Oh, yeah, okay.
A trailer.
I mean, I
Trailer.
knew, but
Yeah.
You never seen Snatch?
well,
Yes.
I knew, but I just wanted to make sure anyone that was listening that didn't knew would have a satisfactory answer.
Fucking
Spoiler
Parkies.
alert.
On it.
Justin's
On it,
never
man.
seen a snatch.
Oh.
Can we not
Don't
go there?
even call me out like that, man.
Sorry.
Keep
Brucey
the toilet
was
humor
setting
to
me
the end. So anyway, I'm just saying, basically, it's a whole bunch of mishmash of new nonsense mixed with things that are actually you do need a permit for, but you can sort of see the logic behind some of it, like having large, long trucks parked on private property for longer than a certain amount of time. And I mean, it could be I know from experience, it can be very annoying for a neighbour who finds it then really difficult to get out of their driveway because they can't see what's coming, and it becomes quite dangerous. Been there. Just things like that. But it's like there is no way that they're saying that you have to have a permit, which was going to be like $400 because it was $150 to apply and then $250 for the actual permit. It's all bullshit. It's not true
Quite
at
an
all.
expensive oil
Okay.
change.
Yeah, I know. I
Well,
mean, see, that's
just-
outrageous, isn't it?
Who voted for
100
that? Jiffy Lube?
100 Australian dollars is 62 US dollars.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible at the moment. Terrible exchange rate.
Terry.
Terry.
It's like the pound. I think the reason that people fell for that is it is the sort of thing that government and local governments will do, isn't it? And I know for a
sounds
fact in
plausible.
the US, in California, I think you need to have a permit to be like a hairdresser. You need to have a state issued permit. And I've got a little
Very rampant.
example here of when you were talking about the oil change charge. I was thinking it's just the sort of thing they would do under the sort of banner of environmental stuff, being very green. And here, and I know this for a fact, because one of our neighbours has had to more or less rebuild his house from the volcano damage. And if he'd have, for all the stuff he has to get rid of, they charge him €30,000 for recycling the sort of stuff from his house that he can't use anymore. So if he knocks down the house and then they take it away, they charge him €30,000 for like recycling the stuff from his house, when we all know really in reality it's probably going to send some poor third world country for the poor locals to sort of pick about in and try and find something of value, which happens a lot. And that's even before he pays for the rebuild costs. So they do
insane.
In Europe in particular, they do a lot of crazy stuff like this.
Fucking
Well,
criminals.
That's exactly why it was so believable. Like, it just made me think of the HOA wars that you guys have over there in America. I mean, talking to Binkley, about some of the things that he's had to face with his parents. Stuff.
Hey,
It's just
careful.
it's almost comical.
Keel was in the HOA.
Mhm.
Right.
At least, well, I tried, but I failed. I'm not in there anymore.
They
But,
kicked your ass out.
Kind of.
Proud of yourself.
Yeah,
I will say it's
that's right.
it's
Are you not
similar-
there anymore? You've been kicked out.
nope, not. I got kicked out.
Been a palace coup.
I could talk about that for a little bit, but I want to say it's kind of like in New Jersey. I think it's still a law, and maybe up in Oregon, possibly you're not allowed to pump your own gas. When you
believe
pull into a
that's
gas
accurate.
station, they have to.
Yeah.
They have
That's true.
union
Yeah.
organized labor there, and
Yeah,
you have
That shit's
to.
wild.
Yeah, you have to allow the attendant to come out and pump the gas, and it's fucking ridiculous. I mean,
I
come
took
on.
a road trip to passing through New Jersey. I stopped for gas. I jumped out to pump my own gas. I thought the guys were gonna fuck me up. They were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, what?"
Get back in the car.
I think Oregon has laxed on that.
Dangerous
in
Have they?
recent
criminal.
Okay.
Pointing the
I
Bowser.
still have never pumped gas in Oregon, but I think I heard that they were like making it kind of you can if you want to, but they still have attendance most of the time.
They're still going to charge you full service prices.
Yeah. Now, I
Probably.
will say, I would love to have full service at gas stations, but it's really fucking stupid to have a law that says you can't,
So
or
if
that
you're
you can't pump your own gas.
if you're ever in the area at the intersection of Highway 92 and Crab Apple Road in either Woodstock or Roswell, is they have a full service pump there. I think it's a
yeah.
Chevron. But back to
There's
what and to what
my-
I accidentally pulled into a full service pump here, not knowing that we even had them.
I did the same thing. That's how I
And
found
somebody
it.
was like, "You might want to go to a different pump. This is like $1 more a gallon or something crazy
Yup.
like that." And I was like,
Yeah, there's an upcharge on the
Thanks.
waitress.
And I dipped.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it's sort of full circle, because I don't know what it was like for you guys in the older days, but here in Australia, it was like there was always a gas attendant, and we miss the days when they used to come out.
Yeah.
They'd put the pump in your car, and then they'd come and clean your windscreen
Oh,
and have a little bit of a chat and a bit of a laugh, and then it'd be
That's
all
how we
hand
feel
in glory.
about cashiers at the grocery store.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, okay.
No, but
So
you're
anyway.
right. It was here, like back in
come on.
the.
Back in
Go
the
ahead,
day.
Terry. Sorry, go ahead.
Boomer day.
Yeah, back. in
Yeah,
the
no,
day.
sorry. I was just going to add a little bit of local colour in that one of the differences between here in Spain and the UK was that UK has all been self-serve for donkey's years, but here they generally have an attendant, but they're sort of going a bit petrol station. You don't really know if you're allowed to pump your own gas, pump your own petrol or not. And you don't know if the guy's going to get upset with you or not. So you
Wow.
sort of hang about for a bit. And if he doesn't show up, then you're okay to go out and do it yourself.
That's so
Well,
crazy. They should just tell you.
And
Put
back
a sign
to what you were saying about the hairdressers in California having to have a license. I'm pretty sure hairdressers in all 50 states have to have a license. And
They
in
do.
Yeah.
many instances, hairdressers have to have more training than
that
police.
true?
Yes, sir.
That's
Right.
probably true. I don't know if it's actually like there's probably a few states that don't, maybe, but there's always been stories about people getting in trouble because they didn't go ahead and pay the hundreds of dollars or whatever it costs to get fully trained and licensed as a whatever hairdresser or eyebrow technician or whatever stupid, cosmetic bullshit training that you're
Well,
so
supposed to
there'll
get.
be
I
some-
don't understand that at all.
The
There'll be
problem
some
is
government or state level hair inspector over there to sort of
Yeah, it's
adjudicate.
just a
Well, here's
casual-
the
Yeah,
thing.
but
A proper
you think about it,
hairdresser.
right? The last thing you want is a psychopathic hairdresser, because you put your head back on the basin, they could easily slit your throat. They could scalp you.
Ah,
They could
oh,
create
well.
chemical warfare
Like
on
Sweeney
your head.
Todd.
here's the thing though, because
Yes.
we look at this as at least not retarded people, but so, and we're like, this is clearly dumb. But I see you, Ashley. 1 second. If and actually you've probably seen this because I think you're on TikTok, but there are these people of a certain kind of people that become quote veneer technicians.
Here we
And
go.
what they do is they charge like $5,000 to do veneers, which is a permanent procedure that can really screw you up. And these people are going around pretending that they're dentists and veneer specialists, and they're so you. What I'm just getting at is like the hairdresser thing is clearly ridiculous. Like you don't need an occupational license for something that your friend would do, but at the same time, you have this happening where actual dangerous shit. I mean, it is illegal. They're practicing dentistry without a license, and they're ruining people's lives doing it. But you see something like that, and you're like, oh, well, clearly we need more licensing, more government.
Mm.
So it's just
It's always
like,
about
we're-
litigation.
Wow. So,
yeah, we're
I
just
say-
screwed no matter
so
what.
Justin the libertarian is asking for more government regulation.
Yeah.
I'm to be clear, I'm just explaining the situation that happens as I see it. No, sorry, Ashley, please go ahead.
Okay, so as a tradesperson that did have to go through, so like in massage therapy, different states will have different requirements. So it's probably the same for hairdressers and, you know, police officers and other things like that. So I do think that if you want to be good at a trade, a quality education is a cornerstone. But I also, you know, kind of like the libertarian take is not that you should have to have education. It's not having licensure. It's not having all this stuff. And it's just that the responsibility has been removed from the populace because of all of this. So they may trust somebody just because they're licensed, just because they're certified
Yep.
from the state. But guess what? I considered myself to be excellent at my job. Try very, very hard, try to continuously educate myself. But I would work with people that are like the kind of people that would come into work talking on their cell phone on speakerphone, right? They don't remember their clients' names. They don't, have the same education level. That doesn't matter. So it's really a problem with people. So it's not necessarily going to make somebody better just because they're certified or licensed or they jump through the hoops. It is a way for the state and the people who give the tests and continuing ed to constantly make money off of you every so often because you have to renew your certification. You have to do continuing ed as part of your certification. And but I think the real problem is that responsibility has been removed from the individual to actually do your homework and find a person that has good references, that you can see their quality work, things like that. Okay.
Always
Justin?
check references.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
I
and
agree.
before I kick it back to Stella real quick, just I thought it was funny what popped into my head was and no offense, Ashley, I know you're a real massage therapist, but do you think that they have to go and get like jerk off training for the rub and tugs out there and like here's my blowjob certificate?
I think most people learn on the job if they're going to be doing it.
Fair enough. Thank you for your insight on that, Ashley. Please, Stella, go ahead. Continue.
Just a very quick wrap up. So yeah, unfortunately, my fake and gay story was actually fake and gay to the maximum. So I would actually like to nominate pretty much the continuation of climate change for the ultimate fake and gayness.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I would also like to point out a channel on YouTube, which is an Australian guy called Dr. Peter Ridd. He basically tried to blow the whole thing apart by saying, well, you know, these stats actually aren't the case, and these charts they've been fiddled because the CSIRO and the BOM, which is the BOM, which is the Bureau of Meteorology, okay, AI, you got that? They're just fiddling the numbers at leisure to support the narrative and just ironing out the charts, you know, making those zigzag, wrinkled old lines nice and smooth. And anyway, he's Reef Rebels. They tried to get the Great Barrier Reef onto the, I think it was, the endangered list. It's to do with, you know, the whole what is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
COP26 or whatever they are. Anyway, those dudes who are trying to engineer the green agenda. And the fact is that the barrier reef is not. It's the opposite of what they're saying it is. It's not in trouble at all. It's thriving. It, as everything else in nature, it's going through its natural
Been better than
cycles.
ever.
Yeah, exactly. And there's plenty of evidence for it, just like the whole thing that goes in everyone's arms. There's plenty of evidence for that. And yet, for some reason, things still continue. So I would like to put forward my vote for the Climate Change Fake and Gay Awards.
Well, I have you marked down for that,
I'll
but
argue
we
with
will
that
get
one.
an official vote either at the end of the show or when you have to leave.
All right, thank you.
Oh. Bruce, did you go
You have
yet?
Stella marked down as a climate denier.
I did not, but I just realized my story was a day too late because I was going with the guy who blew up the Cybertruck, but that was on January 1st of 2025.
Ooh.
Ooh,
But that passport story is
Now
getting
we'll
pretty
give you a
fucking
pass
gay.
on
Yeah.
that one.
Hey, we're making a note about that because
Yeah.
in 2026 we're gonna circle back.
We're coming for you.
I mean, we can go over it, but I can't in good conscience give it an award at the end.
I also was going to go with monkeypox but that was a long time ago. But that is both fake
Oh,
and
that's-
gay. Like, it really is
It's
gay.
pretty good.
That is.
Candidate. Might be 23 though.
Yeah, it might even been before
I think
that.
you mean.
Yeah.
I think you mean Mpox. You mean Mpox, Bruce?
Yes,
Come on.
Wasn't
I'm
that
old
the
school.
You know,
that
get with the
song?
program.
Those young boys. Oh, that was Mbop. That's right. Sorry.
So, did anyone look into the
Hanson.
Cybertruck thing?
Oh,
And thank you.
right.
Did has anyone looked into the Cybertruck thing? I can go into it for 2 minutes.
I just
Yes,
know
go
this
ahead.
guy went to
Sorry.
Trump Tower in Las Vegas, right? And he loaded his truck full of mini grill gas, little propane tanks and fireworks, I guess, and something else I forget. And he also asked ChatGPT how
That
to
is
do
a
it.
weird story.
Very strange.
That is a weird story.
And you said it was on January 1st.
And he
I
chose,
believe it was on New Year's Day. Yeah.
Was that a fake story?
he chose the commercial
truck?
vehicle. He chose the commercial vehicle closest to an armored car that he could do, so he wasn't actually going to do any much damage outside the car. It was really weird.
Now, wait, didn't he?
And apparently,
did
he had a bit
die
of a
in the
connection to
explosion, or
the
not?
the daily driver guy as well. I think they were both in the same
did
military
die.
unit.
Oh, they were
New
in the same
Orleans guy that
camp.
mowed them down.
Yeah, they had both worked
must have
at
done.
Fort Bragg or been stationed at Fort Bragg, which there's a ton of these people have. So people did make the comment that so many soldiers that go through the system are at some time stationed in Fort Bragg. So stop focusing on Fort Bragg. However, supposedly they do have a psychological unit at Fort Bragg, and that was also the place of somebody that has been questioned in some suspicious like the program to kill. It was a doctor. I cannot remember his name right off the top of my head, but he had been stationed at Fort Bragg. There was like a cult in the area. Supposedly his family was murdered. Timothy McVeigh. So this was post or while Vietnam was happening. Then also Timothy McVeigh had spent time at Fort Bragg. So there was the Fort Bragg connection with these guys. And then they also both rented their vehicle from the same company. And they happened one day apart, not even a day apart.
Yeah.
So weird.
Was his name Dr. Goebbels? Something like
No, that was a
Okay.
different doctor from the World War II time frame.
What? Now that's a
Well,
fake.
the craziest
Oh,
thing was
they-
the guy exploded the car. His passport was not.
Right. The strongest
that really is
material on
amazing,
Earth.
isn't it?
They need to
Terrorist
start
Those
building.
passports are super durable. They should make
Start
everything
building
that's
them,
vulnerable
darling.
out of passport material. Then there
I'm
wouldn't be
just
any
gonna get a
damage anyway.
shirt. I'm bulletproof,
I would like to
explosion
say-
proof.
That in this day and age, Turo is a much better option than the rental companies. We used it in Maui, and it was awesome.
No,
Oh,
what is that
dude,
Ton
now?
of money.
never do Hertz. Like the amount of people suing Hertz for having the police called and saying that they stole the rental car when they just rented it.
Yeah. What is up with
Dozens
that?
of
I've been hearing
people.
that lately.
Oh, dude, it's every 5 minutes Hertz is doing something else. It's just wild.
Perm, can you explain, please, to me what that company is and how it differs?
Turo.
So Turo is pretty much the same thing as Airbnb, but with vehicles. So
Okay.
I will rent a car from a person instead of a company,
Got it.
and they facilitate that rental. So when I did it in Maui, they basically dropped off the car in the parking lot at the airport in Maui, and when we like said in the app that we were there, they remotely unlocked it and had a key in the glove box for us waiting. So we took pictures beforehand and then took pictures when we dropped
Good.
it right back off in the same parking lot that we picked it back up in.
Okay, thanks for that,
Nifty.
because my son has actually used that
Sounds
same thing. It's just obviously called something different over here, I guess. But he, I mean, because immediately my thought was, that must be an insurance nightmare. And it actually happened that the first time that he did it, the person who owned the car tried to say that there was some scratches on the bonnet that weren't there before. And of course, my son had taken photos of the car and everything beforehand and afterwards, and I helped him put together a bit of a package, whatever, to produce to the owner, which was fairly foolproof. We never heard back from them again, but they tried it on, so it's probably a little bit of a sideline rort there going on.
Yeah, I had thought
Doesn't
about
like
that
insurance
too, and
nightmare, though.
I looked for one of the people that had like tons of, they show you how many rides they've had, or I don't know if it's called rides, but how many times they've actually like rented it out. So I looked for one that had like tons of those, so that I knew like they're not gonna pull this scam every single time somebody rents it. You're gonna be probably looking at new people that try and pull a scam like that.
Hey, Bruce, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good having you on. Good talking to you.
Same to you guys. Thanks for having me.
So
I
good
have-
to see
Yeah,
you.
buddy.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Great to see you.
I
Bruce.
have your vote marked down on faggy drones. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Alrighty.
Nice choice.
Hey, and really quick, before Bruce leaves and talking about the drones, so I did hear back from my friend in New Jersey, SW, and he said that Wednesday his neighbor saw one hovering to the north of us, and she did tell him about it. So even though we're not hearing about it and seeing it out and about, they are
There you
still
go.
happening.
In your
Ah.
face, Gildo, in
Is
your
it-
face.
Nah, that's still
Is
fake and
it-
gay. It's all
is
fake.
it-
Fake.
They can
SU
continue.
Is it SUV sized?
Oh yeah, that's the question.
They're about $42,000 from what I see, American, on like Amazon. I suppose a few people could afford that for a pretty good laugh.
Yeah,
They're
maybe.
about the
I mean-
size of a
I mean,
Cybertruck.
billionaires don't have much to do they, really?
And do you
Except for
remember when those monoliths started showing up just randomly in different places? I mean, that had to have
Oh,
cost
yeah.
Yeah.
tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not even just to create, but just to move.
Yeah. Well, some of those were pretty big. those
Yeah,
things.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard about that Illuminati card game? Because some people are saying that some of these things that are happening are exactly what's on the cards. Funnily enough,
not
so
heard
who
that.
I mean,
I-
they could be all sitting
I
up
have
there.
played
Sitting down there in their
Illuminati card
bunkers.
game.
Yeah, this Illuminati card
Right.
games from like the early '90s or something like that.
Yeah. I looked it up
Sam
to see how
Tripler's
much
been
they were to
bringing it
buy.
up a
And
lot.
hundreds of dollars now.
I bet.
Fiona and
See ya.
I played that game with my brother and sister-in-law, and Fiona won, so she was top Illuminatus.
Oh, it's an actual game.
It's a good game,
Card
actually.
game.
It's very good.
is.
It's a very good game. Yeah, it was a really good game, and it's all about.
I just
world
thought it was like a
domination.
trading
Yeah,
card
so-
thing.
But
No, I can't remember exactly how it works, but it's a bit more complicated than that.
just real quick, I found this interesting about Tesla and the Cybertruck. Is that this Tesla stock on December 31 was $403. Then it was closed on the 1st. Then it opened to $379. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting for some reason. But what's
stock went down after the explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't it go skyrocketing back up because everybody kept
it's
putting out there, oh, it's a great vehicle. Now look at that. I can explode a bomb in it and it's still intact,
Let's buy stocks. They're down.
Yeah, it went back up to $410 the next day.
Elon did say that it's so indestructible that the explosion went upward instead of sideways and didn't even break the glass of the Trump building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that this was
a weird ad.
Fake and gay attempt.
It was right on the heels of the H-1B debacle that was very unpopular and divisive between Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. So they get online on Twitter and they're talking about the whole H-1B conversation, and then people start looking into it, and there's like a certain demographic that mostly are getting HB1s or H-1Bs, and they're talking about how, basically that, they said some pejorative things about Americans, and I'm not saying that it's wrong necessarily, but if the people from another country are so great, why is their country still third world? Like, why don't they make their country great again, as it were?
It's literally the meme.
It is
because they don't have the red, white, and blue over there. They don't have the Constitution.
It depends what
they
you
don't
talk
have the
about.
freedom. There you go.
Like India has a caste system, so it's first world to all the people on top. But
damn, if we had Jamie, we could have him play America. Fuck yeah.
So basically, yes, but a lot of the Indians that come here are from the top caste.
Right.
They're, the untouchables are not
here for a better life.
And they still stink.
All right.
So anyway, what I was saying is that so there was this conversation online, and it was really unpopular and really divisive. Okay. And then there was a mass banning, and a lot of people lost their blue check, their certification, and they thought that it could be related to them criticizing Elon in general, but it also could have been related,
right?
Well, I think
some of the
Shields lost his before that.
Correct. And Stu Peters. Now, they have been very outspoken on the terrorist state of Israel. So they thought it was part of that, but they also thought that people that had just been criticizing him were also losing their account. And that does seem to be the case. So anyway, all of this hullabaloo happened. Then within the next day or so, that is when the Tesla the Cybertruck didn't explode. And you should have seen the bootlickers on Elon's page talking about how the truck didn't explode. Oh, this is a great endorsement for the Cybertruck. But I was like, this makes me want to puke.
People were literally being they were talking about Elon, literally describing him as Batman when he was, I don't remember specifically what it was he was doing with Trump. He's literally Batman. He's saving us. And don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Elon, the hero. Yeah, they always chuck one in every now and then. There's a double hero thing going on at the moment, isn't there? Because we've got the Trumpians covered and we've got the Elons covered. So there's a couple of generations pretty much. Brilliant.
Yeah, and they've been very intimately linked also. After the assassination attempt, then Elon throws his hat in to support Trump, and they're on the same page about so many things. But the problem is the teal technocratic globalist connection. And there's a lot of overlap between the rhetoric of Klaus Schwab and the rhetoric of Elon Musk, and people on the right or conservatives or whatever you want to call them these days. I don't even know anymore. And then there's some people are the woke right, and some are the tech right, and some are the neocons. Yeah. And they have no problem with it. So it's very, you know what? It's not frustrating. It's typical. That's what it is. It's typical, and it's people that don't have any principles and they have no standards, and they'll fall for anything. And that's very unfortunate, but it's reality.
it's the DC Drainos and the cat turds and all these morons. Thomas Massey's just a rhino. He's the only motherfucker that got any balls.
Is he even really a Republican?
Hold on.
Why would he
didn't
be called
read
a
my
rhino if he's not a Republican? Go ahead,
You
Terry.
didn't read my post deconstructing Massey, did you? Yeah, Justin clearly didn't read my post when
I
I
guess
deconstructed
didn't.
Thomas
I
He can't
and
read.
Ron Paul in
And
one
I do
fell
still have
swoop.
to. Yeah, I do still have to reply to that.
Terry,
I'll get
Justin
to
can't actually read unless you keep it very short. So often we have
No,
to do
that's true.
a too long didn't read synopsis and keep it to about one sentence, and then he's got it.
But
24 characters.
Here's the hack to keep in mind. A picture
can,
is worth 1,000 words.
I'll give you a TLDR on it if you like, Justin. I'll give you a
Please do.
TLDR on it if you
Please
like,
do.
Justin.
He talks
They're
many.
I bet
fucking
you
gay,
will,
and so are you.
Can I break in with breaking news?
Oh,
A
yes,
little bit of
please.
COVID
Yeah,
news
great.
mixed up.
I wish
with
you would
a
have
little
had
bit
the
Oh no.
music.
of- not COVID news, but COVID times news and current news now. Joe Exotic just tweeted from prison, I assume. Make sure you tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on at OANN to hear me and Matt have a lot to say. Matt Gates quote tweeted, "You don't want to miss this."
Huh. Well, that's something, isn't it?
Are we gonna see Joe Exotic released from prison from Trump?
That'd
Let's
be a
hope
hoot.
so.
I hope
Interesting.
so.
Who's Joe
mean-
Exotic? Can I just ask?
Well,
He's the
first,
one who
before we
valiantly-
answer that, let me just say, fuck that bitch, Carol fucking Baskin.
All right, you got it. You beat me to it.
And it's
Terry-
kind of like it's the Chip Nation thing. Like, no, I kind of love Joe, but
we talking
everyone
about
in
it?
that thing fucking sucked.
Are we talking about a J6 person here or something?
No.
So okay,
Ashley's
so
gonna
for
tell us.
Let
Yes.
Ashley do it.
for Terry and Stella and anybody else who may not know, during COVID times, as you know, it was very dark days in the lockdown times of COVID. A lot of people were home. A lot of people were streaming. Okay. So it just so happened that this show, Tiger King, was shot as a documentary and it was published to Netflix at this time. And it's like, in my personal memory, it is very intricately woven with COVID times, like all of the associations of that.
Yeah,
And it
definitely.
was very fascinating, but it was about basically specifically Joe Exotic and his arch nemesis Carol fucking Baskins, but some other people in this sphere who are keepers of big cats. So there was a whole thing, a whole drama. Yeah. So anyway, then
It's
fast
great.
forward, Joe Exotic is now in prison for
Florida, I
Spoilers.
believe.
No spoilers. 'Cause
okay.
Everybody here is going to
Spoil
watch it
it.
immediately.
I'm not
Spoil
sure
it.
it. I think that they open it with him in
they?
prison.
Spoil it.
Anyway, it's criminal related.
Why-
I'm not going to spoil it for you guys if you watch it. Go ahead, Terry.
For keeping a tiger. Oh, you're not going to spoil it. Okay.
Well,
Just
you
reminds
can't
me,
spoil
Do you
it.
remember we had a freewheeling? Do you remember we had a freewheeling podcast way back when where we talked about the libertarian angle on keeping tigers? So it just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and it is part of the conversation because there are some that was part of the Carol Baskin was on the animal rights side of things, and she did not want people to be able to keep tigers. So that's how Joe Exotic became her arch nemesis, because she was trying to go after him, even though
And-
he was doing something that she
Right.
had been doing
She
originally
was
in her
doing the
career.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
she
but
fed
she-
her husband to a tiger,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
There was a lot of crazy shit in that
Wow.
show. I would like to say, just to brag, that I watched that documentary Tiger King of my own accord. I had never heard of it before. It wasn't part of the popularity thing before I watched it. I watched it and it was great. And then
Yeah.
I would like to say
Totally, but-
that my wife and my sister-in-law, who lived with us during COVID, watched Tiger King, and I've never seen a single episode.
It's
So,
amazing.
there's
It
that.
really is. It's just it's the best shit show in the world.
Yeah,
It's truly
just,
fascinating, and it is a documentary, shot from a documentary, and there's a lot of other people that are very interesting, who are spoken to or spoken about in the documentary as well. And there was actually some guy who was a documentarian who had been following around Joe Exotic and sort of his sphere, and a lot of nefarious things happened. A fire happened, which sounds very familiar to America, and a lot of important information just happened to be lost.
There was another
So-
guy that
Uh,
meth turned him gay.
did his passport survive?
I'm sure it did.
you know,
I'm sure it did.
what I really loved about that show was that it's truly a piece of Americana. When you watch it, it's just trashy people in America doing their trashy shit and being their own thing, and it's great. There's guns,
Idiocracy
and
sort
there's
of
Tigers.
style.
It's
I don't think that
entrepreneurialism,
show
there's
could have happened
guns,
anywhere
there's-
else.
That's great. Yeah,
Especially
no,
the
it's,
South.
yeah.
it's
Did he have a
keeping-
blonde
it's
mullet?
amazing.
It's
This
keeping
guy?
tigers a
Blonde
great
mullet?
American
Yep,
Yep,
tradition.
that's the
I-
one, Sel.
I
Thanks.
posted him in the Discord
Unforgettable.
All right, so
in the 2025 tag nomination.
say that again, Perm.
2025 tag nominations. I posted a snippet of those tweets in the Discord.
Yeah, you're getting a little robotic there, and your
Yeah, your
audio.
connection, your clone is taking over.
Ashley has not given us a
Yes,
nominee.
I was
don't
just
think.
gonna say, Ashley, please, what
we're-
do you
we're a
think
dog.
that happened last year that some people might consider either fake or gay, if not both?
Okay, so for
both, yeah.
my submission into the ring, I think Terry might know what it is. Terry, my apologies ahead of time. I don't mean to be triggering here, but I submit the first, the second, and the third assassination attempts of Donald J. Trump for the Faking Gay Award.
Was there a third one?
Yes.
Very good, very good. Yes, excellent nomination.
I knew somebody was going to
He's
do that,
talking
so I
about the
couldn't do it.
Cybertruck, number 3.
Oh, was that meant to be an assassination attempt?
Oh,
What
what?
That
You
was
mean
kind
when he
of
got shot? When he got shot with a gun?
No,
No,
not
the
that.
That is
Cybertruck.
what-
Oh, the third
That
one.
is what
you mean
the-
it?
What's the
There was
third?
three. There was three actual shooting attempts, wasn't there?
Was there?
What's the
Yeah,
third?
because there was a couple that weren't very.
Were there?
Okay, well, there was the
very
one.
announced. Is that right, Ashley?
One
The-
shot in the
Go
ear.
ahead and tell me the three.
There's
The
Van
three-
Gogh Gate. That was the first one.
Yeah. Well, there was the one at the speech where he actually supposedly got hit in the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Van Gogh Gate.
There was the one where the
Yeah.
guy was at the golf course waiting for him. But
Mar-a-Lago.
Golf course.
Yeah. What was the
Oh,
third
Yep.
one?
The third,
Wasn't there another
the-
one?
The third one was the bombing. The mainstream media said that the Trump hotel bombing was an assassination attempt.
But he
I thought
wasn't
there was
there.
another one
Ah.
which was like apprehended long before it got wheels, basically. Not
Oh,
apart from the golf course.
I'm sorry. The third
Uh,
one was another speech. I think it was in California, and he was supposedly a Trump supporter, and he was
Right.
actually just stopped with a gun.
Okay, so it was probably fake and gay.
Okay.
I got an idea.
And
I
this is
got an
Ashley's
idea.
story.
Let's
Why
ask
didn't
the
you tell
person
us
who
that?
actually came up with this story what
Yeah,
she thinks
how about
the,
that?
the three are.
No,
Ashley.
no. We don't even need
We
her
can all
anymore,
let's just
to be honest.
speculate on it.
Okay, so basically what it's so funny. Thank you so much, Terry. But what I was actually going to say is that I really didn't even check into the other ones. I did hear about them, but because I just recognized them, I was like, this is such nonsense. I didn't even give it my energy. But looking up here, it says the obviously we know about the biggie, which was the 2024 Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, which happened on July 13th. That's the real biggie.
Imagine living in a town that Butt is in the name of. You're from Butler.
Blur. Yes. So then the other one was the Florida golf course attempt. So that was, according to them, on September the 13th, the most recent, when Ryan Wesley Ruth broke into Trump International Golf Club and staked out for several hours before Trump appeared to play golf. So that's the biggie. But there was something else, and I think we did mention it. But anyway, the main one that I wanted to talk about was obviously Butler, Pennsylvania, right? So we know we had a famous photographer who just happened to catch many, many like incredible presidential and political photographs over the year. He happened to be there that day. He happened to catch the perfect shot of Trump standing up, chanting to the crowd, "Fight, fight, fight." And he had the blood. Yeah. So he just happened to be there. What are the odds?
Flag
What
in
are
the
the odds?
background as well.
Yes, an incredible. It's an iconic shot, to be sure. Truly,
Because it was
One for
taken probably a week before. But there's also that guy. There's also that guy in the front row that managed. I'm sorry if you've already mentioned this. I kind of had to go and tend to something. The bullet, frozen bullet in midair.
Oh, right. Yeah, that
Now,
picture.
Anyone
Yes.
who knows anything about photography, and probably a few more, should know that takes an extraordinarily fast lens to capture
Yes.
something like a
It
bullet.
would.
That I
know.
I hadn't gotten to that part yet, but yes, he
Why
had
would you take
the.
that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That he had the his camera able to catch that bullet flying through the air. That was one of my points. We can circle back to that and discuss. Then the other thing was that, he was like walking around. Okay. So there was the whole tie-in with the Secret Service being incompetent. Monica had talked about this for years, that they had set up Secret Service for incompetency, even back in the days of Barack Obama and maybe even before that. So this was a case of that. They were able to say, like, oh, look, this woman, she was a DEI hire and she was in charge of Secret Service. There was all kinds of people that said that they had tried to tell the Secret Service, they had tried to tell police, like, hey, there's a guy on the roof. Hey, those things were apparently ignored. There was the whole sloped roof narrative, like, oh, well, we tried to get up there, but that roof was just too sloped. Then after the fact, we have somebody who had just gotten shot and he felt comfortable enough to stand up and say, fight, 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 even though how could he possibly know that all shooters had been, what's the word I'm looking for? Like managed, handled, caught. Like, how could you possibly know that at that time? Because it was immediately afterward. So and I'm guessing that in any true scenario, you have, okay, so if you work for a bank, you're constantly getting robbery training. And I know that because I have been through that. So you don't think that give me one sec, Justin. So you don't think that these people go through constantly with safety drills in the event that our safety protocols are breached and there appears to be something going down? What you do, it's not stand up and chant to the crowd, fight, fight, fight. I can tell you that. It's you got to get down and get out. If there was actually a chance for you to be assassinated, you're not doing that. Then we've got the magic ear. So apparently just putting a pillow on your ear for a couple of days is all you got to do to magically come back out and you have a perfectly pristine, big, beautiful ear. Okay.
Yeah, and a round of golf helps.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can I start with, I just want to ask a rhetorical question because I already know the answer to it, is have you tried a My Pillow? I didn't think so. You don't know what it's capable of.
There you
Wrong.
go.
Wrong. I have a
Checkmate.
My
Check or
Pillow
mate.
in my house. I have a My Pillow in my house right now. And it has never once magically cured my ear.
Has your ear been shot?
Maybe. But you would never know it to see my ears because they're perfect.
Only by microwave.
Because they're perfect because of the fucking My Pillow. So
Can
There
I
you
just
go.
say that? Can I say
argue
that I
with the
think the
man.
most fake and gay moment of that whole fake and gay scenario, since we're at the Fake and Gay Awards, was that very awkward moment just after was it the CIA? FBI?
Secret
Who are they?
Service.
Secret Service.
Secret Service.
Which alphabet are we
Service.
talking? Okay.
Yeah,
so
Secret
Secret
Service.
Service.
that episode was brought to us by the S and the S. Anyway, so they jumped up and they had him surrounded. And that moment where he's got the photo opportunity thing going on and the fist raised in the air, the funniest thing is watching the agents in that very moment. It's like it's the awkwardness of
They
okay,
don't
we've
know
just
what
got
to
to
do.
hang here just long enough
Yeah.
to make sure that hear the click click click. But I'll even go even further in that's like this is double foil covered hat. Okay, I would say I don't know. I don't think those people that were behind Trump, I don't think that all happened at the same moment. I think there was a green screen going on, and there was a previously shot, as in photographed, crowd, and because
I
none
like
of their
that.
reactions were organic at all. So, I mean, that's just a little bit
Well,
too crazy. They're coming for me.
I'd like
mean,
to
not-
prove exactly what you're saying, Stella. So I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I've thought that about a lot of the hearings too, some of the disclosure hearings and stuff. None of it, to me, like I've worked with green screens in the past, so I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I know the general kind of look although AI green screen now is different, and I've gone into that as well on this show actually in the past. But it's very, very good now to the point where the old problems like hair and looking through people's glasses and seeing what's on the other side sort of thing, that used to be a real problem for the old more organic green screen, if you like. But AI has got that covered now. It's very, very good. A lot better than we think it is. It's a lot better than the stuff we get to play with, of course.
Of course.
I think we've been looking at green screens and a lot of things for years and not knowing it. Probably 20 years or so, maybe.
Well, I
think you may
think
be
how
right.
could we discount that as a potential, right? If we know that the director of the CIA, William Casey, said many years ago that we'll know our job is complete when everything the American public believes is false, how could we really know? We know that they have the advancements, just like Stella is saying. We know that they want us to be confused. And then if we actually look at, people who have written about not specifically the art of war, of course, like Sun Tzu and the art of war, but you have the 48 laws of power and you have Machiavelli, and these people, like, having your enemy be confused and uninformed is part of winning against them, right? So we feel, if we actually think that war has been declared on us by the globalist predator class, and I happen to believe that, then having us be confused and not actually know what's real and what's true, I think is part of the op against us. And I think it's perfectly reasonable to think, like, did that even happen? How would we know?
I totally agree. 100 billion%. It's all fake and go.
And we just spent 4 years seeing Joe Biden speak from a set instead of the actual Oval Office.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we don't even think
100%.
anything of it. We're just like, yep, that mashed potato brains is up there again. What's he going to say? What's he going to not be able to say?
We
One of the
think
versions,
something
at
of
least.
it, but most people don't think anything of it.
I mean, sometimes I even look at Trump and think, is that a completely different person standing there? Is that just a clone that was a few little nips and tucks on that clone? I don't know. Going a bit far there. I'm kind of tongue in cheek, but seriously, I mean, it's just getting harder and harder to tell. And with AI
yeah.
now as well. I mean, it's just the deep fakes and all that sort of stuff. They've
Deepfakes.
made sure that we know how good it is by letting us play with some of it, the stuff that belongs in the sandpit, while they're, somewhere up in the upper echelon playing with the real stuff, running the world from, I shouldn't say up, they're actually the lower echelon because they're down in their bunkers, aren't they? With their huge
right.
control room.
But
We had a show
but
about
I definitely
Watching the
about bombs.
crust. Watching the crust.
I think it certainly is, I think it's certainly possible for sure. And as far as what Stella was saying is like, is this even the same person? Well, we know that they also have allowed us to see, and this was years ago, that the CIA, they have incredible masks that they can put on, and we know in movies that they can make people look like completely different people. So maybe that's part of it as well. And I will say that in the celebrity world, for example, if you look at what Britney Spears used to look like, yes, obviously she's aged since the year 2000, but she doesn't look the same. Now, it's
No.
also been very normalized that everyone in Hollywood has a ton of plastic surgery and fillers and Botox and lifts and tucks and things like that. So that also normalizes it that their appearance is constantly changing. But I was watching a video about Britney and somebody said, this reminds me of the movie Paradise Hills or something like that. And it's with Emma Roberts. And basically they take these upper rich people, like the upper class or celebrities that are problem children, and they go away for something like a rehab. Then they end up actually doing surgery on these clones, and they're training these are regular people, they're poor people, and they do surgery on them to make them look like the celebrity, and then they give them a couple of weeks of constant surveillance and streaming of that celebrity so that they can learn their mannerisms. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening. I'm just saying, how do we know? Is it different people? Are they actors? Are there many of them? Are there clones? Are there masks? I don't know.
Maybe we're the clones.
That is the question.
Well, the one
I mean,
thing
are we
that's
in
for
a
sure
simulation?
the truth is out there.
Yeah.
The truth
because
is,
mold
we
around
out
here.
here.
Well,
All right. Should we? I mean, we're not pressed right here, but should we try to do a vote and see who wins the actual fake and gay award for 2024?
Yes, and can we
Yes.
go ahead, Justin?
This
run
magnificent
through-
trophy.
Let me run through some real quick. Just, I know we picked these out, but I just want to run out some, more common ones. So we have jobs. Was just more. I mean, we could really just anytime by in 2024, right? Clearly, job like
Inflation.
already take care of that one. Yeah, inflation. Border wall. Axios reported Kamala Harris pledged to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on the wall. Blah blah blah. School shootings. Fauci's record. The firing squad. That was a funny one when Trump said Trump fantasizes about shooting female rival in the face. Is what the article headline said at the Daily Beast. The real quote was putting Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad, indicating that if you're going to war, you're going to have guns pointed at you.
Right.
That was a quote, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how many fake hate crimes have there been? Fake swastikas. I don't think there were any nooses I saw last year, but a whole lot of everything else. Blah blah blah.
I'd like to put forward the fake chemtrail sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Which may be brought to you soon by Isocan Store.
Chemtrail switch sticker. Sorry, on the dashboard of the airplanes where they flick chemtrails on and off. And this one actually was just on.
Right. Yeah. There's a very narrow
market
set of,
niche.
Narrow niche market there for
small.
usefulness.
Small but effective.
Yes.
Perm.
Can
what do you think?
I just
Go ahead, Perm.
remembered a giant story, but because it was so long ago, January 1st, possibly through the 5th, I can't nail down an actual date, but 10-foot aliens at Miami Mall. Had to have been one of the fakest, gayest news stories of 2024.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
good.
that started off the new year, Perm. That was like right
that
away.
gets
Yeah.
Honorable mention right there.
Thank
That was
you.
Definitely.
I know. I put that on the list. We can vote on it.
Yeah.
That's on the list.
The honourable mention trophy.
Yeah, I think so.
I might actually vote for that one, to be
It
honest.
might be the fakest and gayest story I've ever heard.
It
All right,
was amazing.
It was pretty fake.
I've been
and gay.
keeping track here. I'll
Yeah.
put that on the list.
See, and that's why, for everyone listening, if you made it this nearly 2 hours, thank you for joining us on this adventure. Please join us on the Discord. You can find the Discord at uotus.com or Union of the Unknowns, just because. Join there. If you see a fake and gay story you want to nominate, stick it there. We'll pin it. We're coming back to it in 12 months because we're ready this year, baby.
That's right. All
Yeah,
right.
I was like,
So
was that 2024 or was that before then? And I remember there was like 50 teenagers that got in like a massive like fight having to do with this whole thing.
Yeah, that was wild, man.
I'd like to put a nomination out for the people who believe this crap
yeah, they themselves.
and then spread it without
just-
thinking.
You just got to go look for Biden voters.
And
All right.
The last one I want to throw out there
go ahead.
is just the grocery prices. They've been gaslighting us about that for years.
Yes.
True.
All right.
Killing
We've
a chicken.
got how many votes for Terry's bird flu?
Okay, well, how are we going to do this? Is
I
this a
think we're
yes
gonna
and a no, or is it a 1 to 5, or a 1 to
Yeah.
3, or something? Or...
I don't think we should be allowed to vote for our own story, which is why I'm not. So
Give us
All
a
right, well-
rundown.
All right,
so
other
we've
got-
stories.
Well,
We got-
maybe we
yeah.
should
Minor detail.
maybe we should wait like a day and get some votes, and then
Yeah, let's get some other votes and
once
report
you
next-
publish,
Okay. Well,
maybe
how about
Keel
this?
or you
Oh, no.
record a like 30
No,
second
I-
thing saying this thing is what won,
Sorry.
and we're adding it to the end of the podcast or something.
Can I suggest we have a vote amongst ourselves now, and we have a viewer's choice vote as well?
I
we
like
can have
that.
an
All right, let me-
additional award.
Let me go down. Let me go
Yeah,
down the
let's
list.
get
I'll tell you what.
Quick rundown of the list before we
Yeah.
start voting.
Recap.
At least.
I'll go down the list and then I'll add a poll on our Spotify
Yeah,
release of this
and
show.
Twitter.
Great.
And we can put Twitter and everything else out, and we'll see who votes for what. So Terry had his bird flu, and he's thankfully gotten over that.
And I agree
Jay-
with Terry.
Jay Will had Kamala's campaign.
That might be the fakest.
Justin had Biden's farewell address
Oh,
Or-
yeah.
Mhm.
with the
I need
to
reduction
check
in
that
out.
crime,
I didn't
Crime
watch.
stats in general,
crime stats in general.
or crime stats in Biden. It's a twofer. I cheated.
Perm had his DEI, corporations being really getting rid of their DEI bullshit. I
Costco's
had the-
doubling down on DEI.
Yeah,
and
that
it saddens
fucking- well,
me
that-
so much.
That was
Costco
the
is.
Yeah,
the one
Costco.
board member said
That's
it.
because
I
they're
don't know
from
if-
here.
Yeah,
But
I
We'll
had
hopefully-
get through the list, for goodness sake.
the drones over New Jersey. Stella has her city of Casey and Victoria with the oil changes and that whole thing.
I put that
primarily,
one down.
No,
I want to go with
I think
climate
she wants
change.
climate
That was
change now.
debunked.
Climate
Climate
change.
change.
Okay.
I debunked
I-
the fake and gayness.
Say, I wrote that down as fake and gay being fake and gay.
It was a little
And I
confusing,
just
but
really-
I thought it was
Yeah, I
it was a
like that. But
last-minute
yeah,
debunk.
Well, that's when I stepped away for a minute, so I missed part of that conversation anyway.
It's
Brucey
if climate
Ah.
change continued is my nomination
climate change. yeah.
Okay.
yep.
from the
Uh,
Great Barrier Reef's point of view.
Brucey
particularly.
had his Tesla truck explosion. Ashley.
That was 2025, so we're gonna have to push that
Oh,
to
was
next
it?
year.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we'll
Bruce,
circle back.
Bruce's vote was for the drones.
Was for the drones. Trump's assassination from
He voted
Ashley.
for drones, yeah.
And then honorable mention was Miami aliens. So I don't know. My vote's for
Oh, that's really hard.
climate change is probably the fakest and gayest thing I've ever heard of.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Ashley, what would you vote to be the fakest and gayest?
It's very difficult, honestly.
It is.
I would say probably climate change as an overall narrative that won't go away. That's been working for a very long time, certainly.
I'll allow you to vote for your own if you'd like.
Terry says
No, you can't vote for your own. I'm saying no. Otherwise, we'll just be tied at 1-1. It'll be a nightmare.
I think
All right,
Okay,
is that a final vote for climate from Ashley?
you know what? I'm going to throw in for bird flu.
Bird flu.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
And Terry?
I am 100% voting for climate change. My favourite scam after
All
COVID.
right.
All right, we're 3 for climate, 1 for bird flu, 1 for drones. Perm?
I feel like I have to go with my last minute audible because it's specific to 2024, whereas the others are a continuation over many years. And 10-foot Miami aliens.
I like
Starting
it.
off-
Wow, he's waiting for the 10-foot aliens.
All right.
And I'm the next one in my screen, so I am also actually going to vote for aliens. I'm always gonna vote for
Wow.
Nephilim shit.
Yep.
Nephilim shit.
Nephilims.
And Stella, if you could
Stella.
give us a vote from down under. Wait, do we have to take her vote and then reverse it? How does that work? I'm not.
It's like the
I'm not.
Eurovision Song Contest.
I'll try to speak in reverse for you.
Australia doesn't exist either, so that's all fake and gay.
Yeah,
All
Australia's
I'm
fake and gay.
saying is I got a shovel and I still haven't seen Australia.
Well, for all those flat earthers, apparently the southern hemisphere doesn't exist. So
Does
Coming
the
to you
South
from-
exist?
coming to you from somewhere, I can't really say where, but
On the
Look,
on the
it's just
outer
so
edge of the
hard.
disc.
yes, well, on the
It's
other side
very
of the
hard.
ice wall, I believe. Yes, it's a very, very difficult choice. I'm torn between probably on the scale. I mean, they're all equal, really, but on the scale of effect.
Or just your favorite?
Oh, I don't know. I think probably okay. It's between bird flu, DEI, and Trump because of the mass scale. But the Trump thing is going to go down in history. Like I'm thinking generations ahead of who's going to be looking back. They're going to look back at a whole bunch of things. But I think that's going to sell some encyclopedia,
There's
some
going to be
National
Dr.
Geographics.
Seuss books written about that.
That's also really
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
to 2024. The
Yeah,
I think
assassination.
so. That's a vote for Trump. Yeah,
I think I'll go with that.
unless
Trump is.
unless you
I lost
voted for the
track.
I think
unless you
that's a good
voted for the
choice.
well, no, I've got it under control here. Unless you voted for the
Okay, good.
10-foot aliens, climate change was going to be the clear winner. So
It
like,
is
Climate-
not. It is
Climate
not
change-
too late to change.
We're gonna do some
Hang on.
polls.
present this
I
I
wasn't
magnificent
allowed to vote
trophy
for
to
myself.
climate change.
That's between the six of us.
Well, no, but
Yeah.
obviously climate change can't be here to accept the award. So
I think we
Ashley,
all
would you like
can-
to accept the award on climate change's behalf.
I
if
would
you
love
can-
that. That would be amazing.
And
Since
I
it's
think
Al
all
Gore.
6 of us would agree that climate change is absolutely fake and gay.
Yes,
And
and it's
I think-
ongoing,
Yes,
and
I think we
it's
would.
basically changing the whole world. I mean, the climate change is social, not environmental.
I think we can honestly just send it to Al Gore.
all right, guys,
But
we gotta
climate
wrap
change-
it. We're gonna get
climate
kicked off
change-
here.
Climate
So,
change, by
climate
the way,
change-
would like to thank their parents and also all the fake and gay scientists that have been supporting this narrative over the years. Thanks very much.
And
Means
Thank you,
a lot.
Mrs.
Really,
Mrs.
really-
Zuckerberg.
really quick, my
2.5
buddy SW
minutes.
also said P. Diddy, the movie Joker 2,
Oh yeah.
the Princess Kate's England Mother's Day picture,
Oh, that's a
Ellen
good one.
fleeing to England,
Oh.
trans school shootings,
Wow.
masquerading as right
Wow.
wingers. Thank you,
Oh
SW.
wow.
That's a good
Ashley.
one.
Very
Yeah. Yeah.
Where can
One's
where
there.
can viewers find us?
Well,
Oh,
I'm glad you
Yeah.
asked.
2 minutes.
They can find us at at the unionoftheunknowns.com. That is our Linktree page. That's all the myriad ways for you to be able to get in touch with us, join the Discord, send us an email, find us on Twitter, all that good stuff. Back to you.
Yay.
thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Perm. Thank you, Ismkant. Thank you, Stella Q. Thank you, Jay, Will, and Brucey for joining us. Anybody? We have no time.
Congratulations, climate change.
Congratulations.
No, we got
to
no
the
time.
winners. We are the Union of the Unknowns, and we are out.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in
Bye.
for another episode of Union of the Unknowns. You can find new episodes every week on all your favorite podcasting networks.